is passion? According to Google, passion is strong and barely controllable emotion. It comes from the Latin language and the Latin root pati, which ironically means to suffer. I'd like to think, given the etymology of this word, passion is something that sustains us while we suffer, that it is something that keeps us steadfast or driven despite the challenges that we may face. Now, having said that, why do we as individuals feel passionate about specific things? Why do we feel passionate about specific hobbies, activities, or subjects? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Maisarah Choudhury. I'm in 10th grade and I'm here to answer those questions. Surprisingly, there haven't been enough research done on this subject, if at all. So I took matters upon my own hands. And given that I've been brought up in 6 different countries and I know people of various different diverse backgrounds, I decided I'd conduct a survey of sorts and ask them about their passion. It took some time and a considerable amount of thinking for me to come to the conclusion that there are 6 factors behind our passion. 6 factors that impact, influence, and align with our passions. Those factors are motivation, inspiration, social influences, forms of freedom, challenges, and the conscience. Out of the 6 factors, 2 of them are most important: motivation and inspiration, because the other 4 tie into them. For motivation, our passions are all motivated by something. We are either motivated to engage in passion, or our passion manages to motivate us in other aspects of our lives. The motivation behind why we partake in certain passion varies from people to people, as we're all different. But for one person that I talked to, Zahra Ahmed, a lovely Bangladeshi poet based in London, her passion was the subject of social injustice, and what motivated her was the frustrations that she felt with the current state of the world today and inequality. While she was motivated to partake in passion, she was also motivated by her passion, the subject of social injustice, to write her poetry, to engage in discussions, and to raise her voice for the people whose opinions are not yet heard. Moving on, we have inspiration. We are all inspired by a great deal of things. We're inspired by people we see on TV, we're inspired by the people around us, or we could even be inspired by a topic or a subject. I know a person, her name is Zarina, she's from Romania, and her passion is to write, and you can tell because she is simply a brilliant writer. She takes inspiration from psychology, and her writings often leave you with a sense of existential dread. While she is inspired by psychology, her writing, her passion, also inspires her to look deeper into psychology, and she's even now considering psychology as a possible major in college. Moving on, we have social influence. Society, social setting, and the people that are somehow involved and connected with our passion tends to influence our passion. Social setting, for instance, matters because of our preference. Perhaps you prefer a quieter setting, away from the daily hustle and bustle of life, or you'd fully embrace the hustle and bustle of life and you feel energized by the commotion of people and gatherings. Society tends to influence us in ways that we cannot see and in ways we can see. For example, boys' natural inclination towards sports. What passion can do for us socially is it allows us to form meaningful bonds and connections, and gives us a common meeting ground to form new relationships or further pre-existing ones. By forming meaningful bonds, we feel more motivated to come back and partake in our passion. I know a person, her name is Grace. She's part of a dance group called the Chaos Rose in North Carolina. She likes dancing, her passion, for a variety of reasons. One of them them being the synchrony and the harmony that comes with being in the group. She likes bonding over similar music taste and supporting each other as you learn new choreographies. In contrast, I have another friend. She's from Canada. Her name is Ella, and she likes long walks in nature, connecting with nature, even though her usual personality would imply that she would be more of an extrovert, though she does love being with her friends and family. Next, we have challenges. Now, challenges are often seen as a not so welcome thing. They're brushed off as a hindrance. But when it comes to things that we love, we feel motivated and inspired to overcome them. We like things that we're good at, and we're good at the things we like. Therefore, it is a self-fulfilling cycle. A factor behind our passion is challenged because if we do something over and over again and it produces the same result, we tend to get bored of it. A famous footballer that needs no introduction would be Cristiano Ronaldo, who tends to set goals as it motivates him. And by being motivated by setting goals, he furthers his own skills and challenges. Next, we have forms of freedom. This factor is primarily motivated by a work by Jean-Jacques Rousseau, The Social Contract, in which he argues that it is within the human nature that we desire freedom, that we pursue freedom. But with the current state of society and institutions today, our natural freedom is dampened. Our passions offer us freedoms in a variety of forms. Freedoms of speech, freedom of thought, freedom to express yourself, freedom from reality through literature, or in the cases of various athletes, like Pele, a football player, for example, it can free you from poverty. It can free you from systematic oppression. It can offer athletes, through their career, through their passion, escape and from their financial status into financial stability and possibly even fame. Lastly, we have the conscience. Explaining why the conscience and passion are interconnected is not the most simple topic of discussion, but allow me to break it down for you. Conscience is your moral sense of right and wrong. It is your moral compass. It is what you think is right and what you think is wrong. Your sense of right and wrong varies from another person. What we think is acceptable may not be deemed acceptable by another person. Your conscience does not necessarily have to be an integral part of your passion like it does with passions like Princess Diana's passion of charity. But it must align with your passion. If you have conflict within yourself regarding your passion, if you are not at peace within yourself because of your passion, then you cannot fully dedicate yourself to that passion. And therefore, that is not a passion. You cannot dedicate it long term. That means it is in hyperfixation rather than a passion, for your passion is long term. Now, knowing all of these factors, one may be led to ask, why is it important for us to know what is behind our passion? Why is it special? Why is it worth listening to? It is imperative for us to understand our passions because of the weight that our passions hold in finding happiness in the paths we choose in our lives. I'm in 10th grade. Me and my fellow classmates have begun truly thinking about where we want to be in life, what subjects we'd like to take, what career paths we choose, where we would like to end up. There's an endless sea of possibilities from which you can choose, and by understanding your passion, it allows you a compass to navigate the potential paths that you may choose. By understanding your passion and by learning and looking for studies and jobs that could make us feel motivated and inspired, we gain clarity. Learning what kind of jobs provide us with the social environment that we appreciate allows us to be more efficient, more productive. By looking for jobs that challenge us in ways that we appreciate, we reduces the chances of burnout. By looking for jobs that give us the forms of freedom that we love, it reduces the chances of us feeling trapped within our field of study, subject, or our career. Lastly, if our career subject aligns with our conscience, then it doesn't stir up any internal conflict, and therefore you can forego the dissatisfaction of being in a job that weighs down your conscience. Passion is what sustains us while we face what life throws at us. It inspires to keep going, and it motivates us to push forward even as we're caught in the fell clutch of circumstance. Passion is one of the least researched aspects of psychology, yet it has the biggest impacts on our lives. By being passionate about something, we are willing to go the distance. We are willing to continue down a path even if it is riddled with challenges. A person is willing to struggle in the name of what they love. This is why it is so important for us to choose paths that we find enjoyable, for it makes the pain tolerable. Thank you.